Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully I can add some happy squish vibes to your day today. Okay, so I am very excited about today's video. I think it's going to be really fun to do. But y'all submitted, or I put a poll type question thing on my Instagram story to ask y'all what your least favorite Squishmallows were. And I had a bunch of y'all submit some Squishmallows on there, and I will say I had to look up a few because some of them I had not even heard of before, but I had gathered all those together, and I'm going to be making like a tier list of the Squishmallows y'all sent in. So it's gonna be like ranking y'all's least favorite Squishmallows. So I'm gonna be using the ones that y'all submitted as your least favorite Squishmallows, and I'm going to be ranking them on like based on how I feel about them, if that makes sense. Okay, to go ahead and kick things off, I'm going to scooch over a little bit because I'm going to be popping up right here the tier list, which ones we're doing, that sort of thing, so y'all can kind of follow along. I'm going to be doing it on my trusty little iPad here. So first, let's go through the categories that the tier list has, and these are like, it's like a normal S, A, B, C, D tier list, but I've renamed the categories so they're kind of like unique to the situation. But first, we have the immediately no category. So these are Squishmallows I look at and I'm like, immediately no, do not like, do not vibe with, will not be part of my collection, that kind of vibe. Then we have ugly but iconic. So these are the ones that I still think, I feel so bad saying ugly, but like these are ones that I'm not vibing with, but I feel like are iconic in some way. Whether that be that they're iconic in the Squishmallows community, or I feel like they just look kind of low-key iconic. Well, that'll make more sense once I put more in that category, but that's the next one. Then we have Squish Isn't Squishing. So this is kind of like the middle, this is like the middle tier, I guess, out of all of them. And these are Squishmallows where I'm like, I see the concept, I see what you were trying to do with this Squishmallow, but it's just not working. Like, they're kind of average, it's just not vibing, that sort of thing. Then we have an acquaintance, and these are Squishmallows that I don't hate, like they're fine, and I would be okay like cohabitating with, is the best way I can put it. They're not ones that I'm going out and buying necessarily, but they're not that bad. Like, I feel like they're way worse. And then the last category is was robbed. So these are Squishmallows that I'm like, how could y'all put this on your least favorite list? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. So that's like a little column or category, I guess, for any of them that I think deserves justice, I guess, in a way. But those are the categories we're going to be working with. All right, so let's just go in and hop in and get started. All right. So the first Squishmallow that we have is, I believe this one's name is just Ryan. This was a submission for the Ryan's World Squishmallows. I've actually never seen those, so I had to look them up myself. But I am not a fan, and I can understand why someone submitted this. The people Squishmallows for me are just not it. It's just not a vibe for me. So for this one, I don't know. It's like the hair, the look, the fact that it's a person, all that stuff. This one's going to be an immediately no for me because, again, most of the time when I see any people Squishmallows, I think the only people Squishmallows I have are from the Wizard of Oz squad, and I'm kind of surprised I got those too. I think I got them at Five Below, though, when I was getting a bunch at a time for Black Friday, so it kind of worked out. But the people Squishmallows for me are just an immediately no. I know there were other ones. I think there were other ones in the Ryan's World, like, squad, but I just chose, like, the main one, who I think is Ryan. I mean, he's got an R on his chest, so I'm assuming that's him. But we're gonna go immediately no for that one. Okay, the next two are actually both Nightmare Before Christmas Squishmallow themed. We had a couple submissions for these. So first up, we're gonna do the mayor. And okay, I know the mayor has two sides, and I specifically chose the sad side because I feel like that one's a little worse than the happy side. And it was hard to get one picture with both of them in it. So this is just what we're doing, but I'm still kind of judging him as a whole. So this one's kind of under the person, I feel like, too. Like, I don't like the Nightmare Before Christmas Squishmallows are kind of people, like, not entirely, but I just don't love them in general. So I don't know that it's quite as bad. Like, I don't know that it's immediately no, and I don't know that I would say that these are really iconic. So I think I'm going to put this one in the Squish Isn't Squishing pile because I feel like I get what they were trying to do. I know this is a famous franchise type thing, but it's just not working for me. Like, I don't know if it's the shape, the hat, I don't know, just the overall look is not working for me. And then we have, I believe their names are Lock, Shock, and Barrel, so the three little mischievous ones in Nightmare Before Christmas. These kind of give off the same vibe for me. I feel like they, I don't know, like, it's just, again, it's the people vibe for me that I don't really love. But I feel like maybe they're kind of iconic in the movie. So I think I'm going to put them in the ugly but iconic pile because I still don't like the way that they look, but I feel like they're iconic because of the franchise. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments below. But I think that's where I'm going to put those three Squishmallows. The next Squishmallow we have is the Sinclair Squishmallow. I was kind of surprised that this one was submitted, but honestly, at the same time, not really. I don't have this version of Sinclair in my collection, but I do have the one where he has the egg on him, and I really like that one. I mean, if y'all have watched any of my videos, you know I love the cows, but I also love the food Squishmallows, and I like the Sinclair with the egg on it, so it's like the avocado toast with the egg. But this one, I just don't love. Like, the miscellaneous pieces on him are just not my favorite, so I can definitely understand why they're on this list and why someone submitted this. I think I'm going to put Sinclair in the squish isn't squishing category because I feel like I see what they were trying to do. It could be good. Again, I like the one with the egg, so it could work. I just feel like this one is just not working. I'm not vibing with it. So moving on to the next one. So this one, someone just submitted axolotls. I think that's how you say it. I feel like I always say that word really weirdly, but anyway, someone just submitted those as a whole, so I just like found a picture online to kind of represent them as a whole. I believe this one is Archie. I personally do not mind these. I actually have maybe one or two in my collection, but I also do think the overall look depends on what size you have. So like for me, for these, the smaller the better, but I'm not going out to buy these. These aren't really something that I'm really seeking after, but I know some people do. So I'm going to put Archie in the acquaintance pile because I would be totally fine like cohabitating, like chilling with Archie, but he's not one that I'm like dying to add to my collection, if that makes sense. The next one is kind of another like blanket one. So like someone submitted the unicorn as like one they didn't like, and I actually am not sure this one's name, but I just kind of chose it as like an overall thing. Again, it's kind of the same thing, I guess, with like sea creatures and stuff like that. The unicorns don't really do it for me, but I feel like they're fine for like what you would expect a unicorn squishmallow to look like. I mean, I think there are only a few ways you can do that. So I don't think they really messed up the unicorn vibe, and I feel like if you really like unicorns, that they're probably fine for you too. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but if I were to like unicorns, I feel like it wouldn't be that bad. So I'm going to put this one in the acquaintance pile as well, because I feel like there are much uglier ones. Like there would be much worse ones on my list personally. But again, I'm not seeking out, I'm not going to a store looking at every aisle, every shelf for this one. So that's kind of where I'm going with that one. And honestly, this next one is just jellyfish in general. I'm not sure what this one's name is either, but just kind of a blanket statement for jellyfish squishmallows. Again, this one kind of falls into the same category for me. It's not that bad. I don't love the little, I don't know if you call them tentacles or what, but the little things that hang down from them, from like the bottom of them. I don't love the way those look all the time, so I can understand why people aren't vibing with this one. But for me, I'm going to put this one in the acquaintance pile as well, because again, I think there are a lot worse versions you could have, a lot worse Squishmallows. And again, it's just not my favorite, but it's not that bad. It could be a lot worse. All right, now I feel like we're going to be getting into a little bit more of the controversial ones, and maybe some of the worst ones in my opinion, but let's get to it. So this next one, I know this one, like the picture I chose is a Bigfoot. I know it's Benny, but this one is just like a blanket statement really for the squish stews, but someone did specifically put the Benny squish stew on here, so I just went ahead and used that picture instead of just any other squish stew. Y'all, I don't know how you feel, and I try, like, love all Squishmallows, I really try, but the squish stews do not do it for me. these, like, I literally have no other words. This is just an immediately no category. I cannot get behind them. I know some people like them. I feel like it's very much you either like them or you don't, but these, it's an immediate no for me. But next up, this one is probably going to be controversial too. This one, I believe his name is Sashta, I think, if I'm saying that correctly, sorry. But this one is just like for Bigfoots in general. I know we just did the Bigfoot squish do, but this is just like regular Bigfoots. And y'all, don't hate me on this, but I just do not really like the Bigfoots. They're just not my favorite. Again, the cows are my favorite, and I know not everybody vibes with the cows. Like, it's just to each their own. Everybody has their own little squishmallow that they, or species, I guess, that they like. And a lot of people really like the Bigfoots, but for me, they're just not my cup of tea. So even though I personally think they're kind of ugly, I'm going to put them in the ugly but iconic pile because I feel like they are so iconic within the Squishmallows community that they really can have no other category assigned to them. Okay, so this next one, its name is Cade, and I actually had to look this one up because I think I've seen it before, like in pictures or something, or when like scrolling the Squad app, but I don't think I've ever really seen this one in person, and it's obviously not in my collection. But I think it's supposed to be like a pack of colored pencils or a pack of crayons. And what really throws me about this one is how the top of it's kind of like pointy to go around the crayons or colored pencils. And to me, this one's pretty bad, but I think I'm going to put this one in the squish isn't squishing pile because I feel like I get what they were trying to do. I think you could get cute, like you could do a good job with school supplies or this sort of concept, but it just was not working here. Like again, the squish isn't squishing. I get what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work out for me. All right, y'all. Let's talk about this next one. So I think its name is Bobo. I don't think I've ever seen a Squishmallow, and someone submitted it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I don't know. I feel like I don't need to say anything other than the fact that it is going in the immediately no pile. I just do not vibe with it. Again, it's just immediately no for me. So let's move on from that one. The next one is not like specific. This one's name is Carolina, I think, but it's not specifically for her. Someone submitted more of the Squishmallows that either have like the anime eyes or the more realistic eyes. So this is the one that falls more under that category. And I just knew of this one, so that's the one I used. But I personally don't love the anime realistic eyes either. If you've seen some of my other videos, you probably know I'm more for like the simple Squishmallows. So I like their like regular eyes. I have ones that have like the closed eyes, but I honestly just like the open eyes better. So I'm not really a fan of this one, but again, I think it could be worse. So I'm going to put this one in the squish isn't squishing pile just because I feel like, again, I get what they were going for, but it's just not working out for me. All right, y'all, we've got 3 left, and some of these are going to be very interesting. So the next one we have, I believe she's an ostrich, and her name is Elda. This one, I don't think I've ever seen either. I don't have any ostriches in my collection, and I don't know if I've ever really seen... Oh, wait. Maybe I do have an ostrich in my collection. Anyway, we digress. So this one I feel like is definitely, I'm not surprised this one was submitted, but I don't know how else to explain it, but she's just giving very iconic vibes, so I feel like she fits really well in the ugly but iconic category, and literally just being iconic because I feel like she looks like she would be like a queen or something. She just looks iconic, and I'm gonna give her that even though I think she's a little out there for me. But okay, these last 2 are going, oh, sorry. I just like totally dropped my iPad. These last 2 are going to be very interesting. I was kind of shocked when y'all submitted these, but I do get that, again, some Squishmallows that I really like, other people are not going to like at all. And again, I already probably did the Bigfoots dirty with my ranking of that one. So the next one we have is Malcolm. All right. I know a lot of people don't like the mushrooms. Again, I feel like it's very much a either you love them or hate them vibe. but the mushrooms are not my favorite, but I don't hate them. Like, they're okay. But I think I only have one mushroom in my collection. I know I use like a Malcolm picture, but this is just for like mushrooms in general. I have a 5-inch Malcolm in my collection, but he's fine. Like, I don't know that I'd buy him again, and I don't think I have any other mushrooms in my collection. But I'm going to put Malcolm as an acquaintance for me because I don't mind them, but I know some people just do not vibe with them at all. So totally understandable. But he's an acquaintance for me. Again, I'm not going out to buy him, but he's fine. But y'all, okay, somebody put on there that they do not like the bananas. I think they said they didn't love like the food ones, and they didn't love the food ones in general, but the bananas they just really don't vibe with. And I was kind of shocked. Like, y'all, I was shocked that bananas were on here, and I know it wasn't specifically Junie, but I used a Junie picture for this because I feel like that's the most iconic banana. And again, you see I have all the bananas up here, and if you haven't seen my video showing off all my Junies and you'd like to see it, definitely go check it out. But other than the cows, Junie is probably my favorite Squishmallow. So I was honestly shocked to see that someone didn't like bananas on here. Again, I totally get it. Like, I figured that there were people that didn't like those, but I don't think I've ever, like, seen someone say that they didn't like them, so I was shocked. So hate me if you will, or disagree with me if you will, but Miss Junie is obviously going into the was robbed category for me. I was shocked. Y'all might be shocked. We were all shocked by this submission and how this turned out. But I'm really pleased with how all of these turned out, but it was really fun to do that. But yeah, Miss Junie deserves a little justice there. All right, y'all, we've moved back to the center because that is all I have for today's video. That was really fun to do a little tier list. I might do another one soon, maybe on y'all's like favorite Squishmallows or funniest Squishmallows, or maybe I'll even do like a Jellycat version of the tier list. If you'd like to see one of those videos, definitely let me know in the comments below because I love hearing what y'all would love to see. If you'd like to vote or like submit answers for those types of videos, definitely go check out my Instagram. I usually post those kind of polls or questions in my story over there, so that way you can always see what's going on and maybe even have a little idea on what kind of YouTube videos are coming up next for my channel. But as always, I really appreciate all the submissions for this, so if you submitted one, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's so fun to do videos like this, especially like involving y'all in it. It's always so fun because, you know, you can only do so much by yourself, but I appreciate the participation in this, and I hope y'all enjoyed. It was a really funny video to do. May have made a few people upset. I mean, some of the submissions broke my heart a little bit, but that's okay. All fun and games, but I'm just really glad I could make a video like this. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye!